welcome to Inkquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen review. I was recently informed that Majohn has entered the flex nib arena with a new steel flex nib that only fits the Majohn P136. I'd sold my only P136, but instead of buying another plastic version, I opted to shell out for this luscious faux hammered titanium model instead. I bought it with a 1.1 stub nib and bought the new steel flex nib to swap it in. Let's see what I think about both nibs and this new titanium fountain pen right now. And I'll show the parts and features of this pen, show some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide writing samples with both nibs. And then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about this fountain pen. Overall, the pen is the same size as the plastic version, which is also the same size as a Montblanc 136 or Montblanc Le Grand. And here it is with my Pilot Banana for scale. It looks like it might be a hefty pen, but it's surprisingly light. That's titanium for you. And the hammered finish is actually machined, but it's very attractive. This one has gold furniture, which I think is a lovely accent and will come in handy for me, as we will see later in the review. It's a piston filler with an ink window, and it holds about 1.5 milliliters of ink. And from the top we see the bullet-shaped top finial in smooth matte titanium, separated from the cap by a gold-colored clip ring and clip. The clip is almost identical to the Montblanc clip, which is the same as the plastic version, and it's relatively stiff, but it is usable. The top and bottom thin gold metal cap bands are separated from the center thicker cap band by titanium, and the center cap band is slightly convex and says Majohn in block letters on both sides, and the model number P136 in script. And it certainly has a Montblanc feel to it with that cross-hatched block lettering. There's a slight step down to the barrel, which tapers down to a thin gold metal band which separates the piston knob from the barrel, and the piston knob is bullet-shaped and that matte titanium. Very attractive. The cap unscrews with 1 1/4 turns to reveal the slotted ink window and the Montblanc shaped titanium section, number 6 size steel 1.1 stub Majohn nib, and black plastic feed. Let's take a closer look at this nib. It has the typical Moonman patterns and logo, and 1.1 at the bottom there for 1.1 stub. The flex nib that I bought separately has a zigzag pattern or laces pattern on it, a crescent moon breather hole, and those Monteverdi mountains. And you can see the silicone O-rings there and there on this unit. Of course, the nib and feed are part of a nib assembly that unscrews for maintenance or swapping. It's a very tight fit, but I was able to unscrew it and screw in the new flex nib without the use of a tool. It is a lot easier to get it seated properly with the tool. And you can pick these up on AliExpress. And the inside of the cap shows a black plastic cap liner to seal the nib and feed. The cap posts deeply and securely, and even though it's metal threads on metal, it's titanium, folks. That stuff is hard.
Don't make it harder than it has to be.
So I don't expect any marring of the barrel. Unposted, the pen is plenty long enough to write with comfortably, and the Montblanc 146 size pen is perfect for my medium-sized hands. I bought this pen on AliExpress for $119.68, and the extra nib was $12.72. The Majohn P136 in titanium is available in 2 finishes, this hammered style and just the brushed style, and has a number of nib options: EF, F, M, 1.1 stub, a long knife, a 0.8 millimeter, a long knife, a 1.2 millimeter, and a hand-polished F and a hand-polished M. I'm not sure what that means. It means probably that it's been tuned by them. So someone's actually written with it and tried to tune it. I should have taken that option because both of these nibs were pretty awful, as we shall see. And now let's look at some size comparisons. And here we are with the Majohn P136 titanium. And here it is with a Wing Sung 630 piston filler, and this pen is exactly the same size as a Montblanc 149. So you can see the difference between the 149 Montblanc size and the 146 Montblanc size. And here it is with an Asvine J16 titanium. This is also a piston filler, as is the Wing Sung. And here it is with a Leonardo Furore in Galaxy. This is a cartridge converter pen. And here it is with a Narwhal Horizon in Soleil. This is a piston filler as well. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. They're all relatively the same length posted. The Wing Sung 630 that I have has a 14 karat gold number 8 size nib. So it's very similar to the Montblanc 149 and has an ink window as well. The J16 posts the longest, but this is a beautiful pen. This is a steel number 6 size Yovo nib that came with this one, and it's just a beautiful writer. So I didn't really need another titanium pen, but here it is. And my Furore is one of the most gorgeous resins I've ever owned. This Galaxy Swirl and a Sublime number 6 size medium nib. The Horizon from Narwhal is a very interesting pen with a large ink window, and the cap threads are at the top of the section, not the bottom. Let's look at them unposted. And here they are unposted. The Moonman is actually the shortest of the group. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And here we go with the writing sample for the Majohn P136 titanium. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper. And let's see if this will write. Majohn P136 titanium. And it has a 1.1 stub nib, number 6 steel. It's plenty wet. That's not the problem with this nib. This nib goes from writing a thick downstroke to writing almost a fine downstroke, and of course it's fine in the horizontals, as stubs should be. But this stub was exhibiting a lot of baby's bottom. I've been writing with it quite a bit and pressing on it quite a bit to try to get it to write, but every so often it will dry up like that and write a fine line on the downstroke, which is symptomatic of some baby's bottom. If you're losing some of your downstrokes, it's usually baby's bottom, over polished nib. But I can work on that. But it was disappointing that it didn't write perfectly out of the box. But there you go, it's a Majohn nib. Moonman Majohn. I've never been fond of these nibs. I don't remember a Majohn nib that I've actually liked. In fact, my favorite Majohn pens are these two Majohn Moonman M800s, clones of the Momento Zero. And they both have Leonardo nibs on them. This one's a beautiful Leonardo stub. So I tend to like their pens, but not their nibs so much. And the ink, before I forget, is lovely. This was given to me by a pen club member at a pen meet. It's Montblanc Dandy Turquoise. Beautiful, beautiful ink. And you'll see what the issues I'm having with this stub are. As I write with this pen, it tends to blob and get messy in places, and my writing is messy enough. Let's do a quote. In reverse writing, it just doesn't do it. And for some quick writing, well, I'm finding that the feed just doesn't keep up with this nib. And I'm thinking that's why it goes thin. That, along with a little bit of baby's bottom, I might have to work on this nib to get it to write to a satisfactory consistency. But that's not what you're here about. You're here about this nib. So let's give this one a try. I'm just going to flood this feed by turning the piston and dropping some ink through onto my tissue just to make sure that it is saturated. Okay, now I completely flooded that feed, and this is the Moonman Majohn number 6 size steel flex nib, and it is very soft and very smooth, but I found that I can't keep it running unless I flood the feed. Now, it just used up all the ink in the feed. The pen is full, and now it won't write. So after a sentence or so, you have to prime all kinds of ink into that feed, and then you can coax it out again. So the horizontal, vertical with no pressure, and push it out. We'll see how far it flexes. It's very, very wet when it writes, and actually easy to flex. But once it runs out of ink, you have to push it again with the piston. So I'm going to check those line widths. The horizontals are 0.3, the vertical is 0.2, and the push, it goes out to 1.5. So, well, I can't write with this unless I flood it. I don't want to constantly be flooding this. I'm going to be making a mess. Well, this was 0.3, 0.2, and 1.5. So 0.2 to 1.5 flex. But I'm not going to be writing with that either. I can get a couple of sentences out of it, and then you have to charge it up again. So that's not a happy situation for me. I'm just going to let this ink out of here. Now I'm going to try an experiment, because I do like this pen, but I don't like either of the nibs. So I thought, well, what number 6 size nib can I put in there? The nib unit itself is proprietary, Moonman Majohn, but that's a pretty standard number 6 size feed. So if I could pull this nib out of there, I could put another number 6 in there, like a Yovo or something. So I searched around to see what I had, and I came up with this. I have a number 6 size 14 karat gold Dutch pen show nib from a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, Jonathan Brooks Dutch Pen Show 2021 exclusive limited edition. This beautiful pen I bought years ago, and I just adore it. But when it came with this nib, and the laser engraving of the Dutch Pen Show logo on there actually went through the gold all the way to the back. So it leaches ink up through the top of the nib and saturates that Dutch Pen Show quill with the ink. You know, spending $600+ for a pen like this, I thought, well, I should have a nib that doesn't do that. So I asked Salvatore Matrone about it, and he sent me another one. And this has been in a box ever since. And here's where I get to the two-tone gold and silver. I think this gold nib will look stunning on this pen, don't you? So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this. I'm going to use some rubber matting to try to pull that out. I'm going to leave the nib unit in and pull that nib from that feed. It is friction fit in there. And then we're going to try to see if we can seat this one on top of it and whether it will write or not. Pulled the nib and the feed out. Of course, I'm doing this hot. Let's see whether we can line this feed up with this Leonardo nib. Shape is everything, so it might not work. I'm going to try to place it closer to the tip and see whether I can get it in. That's what she said.
That's what she said!
Trying to see where this one was placed. There's no stopper on there. Maybe there is. Yeah, right there. So this might not work. It might be too thick back here. Yeah, I think the Leonardo nib, well, no, there it's going. What do you know? Get it seated properly here. Now I'll have to check for cap clearance. Yep, I don't feel any scraping against the end. It's sitting out there quite proud. Now let's see if we can prime it and write with it. Ooh, that's nice. So this is now a Moonman Majohn Leonardo P136. And this is a broad 14 karat gold Leonardo nib. And there you go, it actually works. So what do I like and what do I not like about this fountain pen? I'm frustrated by Moonman Majohn. I've liked a lot of their pens. They seem to be able to really do some great engineering on pens, especially with clear acrylics. And this titanium pen, the fit and finish on it is just superb. But I wish they'd learn from Asvine or some other Chinese company how to make a nib, because I don't remember liking a single Moonman nib, and I've had several. Of course, my favorite Moonman Majohn fountain pen, as I said earlier, is the Moonman M800. It's the clone of the Leonardo Momento Zero, which I love so much, but I love them even more because they don't have Moonman nibs on them. The Moonman originals, I don't even know where they are anymore. I put this Leonardo on it almost the moment I bought it. Terrific pen, always inked up, always being used. Same thing with this one, another Leonardo nib. So I love their pens, but I hate their nibs. and the flex for me was just a waste of 20 bucks. And the stub was awful out of the box. It took a little bit of tweaking and tweaking to get it to even write to begin with. Now it's writing okay, but it's not one that I would turn to. And I wanted this pen to be a pen that I was going to use because I like it so much. I was thinking of taking it to Europe with me. It's durable, resilient, balanced in the hand, beautiful. But I didn't have a nib for it that I'd want to write with. And I just didn't want to spend the time on a flex nib because I don't use flex nibs anyway. And this one dries up after the feed has been exhausted of its ink. So it's just a pain. And I'm too busy to fix a Moonman stub. And what this flex nib actually needs is an Ebonite feed. I think that would fix it. Or this plastic feed needs to be heat set to this nib because it's just not flowing out of the feed into the nib. The steel is nicely bouncy and flexible and soft and actually writes very nicely when it's got ink in it. So this pen is great. It's lovely, well engineered, relatively light for a metal pen, and well balanced. I love the silver and gold look and the cool faceting that ends up being a bit of a fascinator as you turn it in the light. Very, very nice. So as you saw, I got inky fingers and put my Leonardo 14 karat gold nib on it. It looks a bit strange because it's sitting so proudly out of that section, but it's actually working, unlike the Moonman nibs that I used in it. I love the smooth section. The matte texture on the titanium actually gives it a bit of grip, so it's not that slippery. Those threads aren't sharp, but they do add a bit of grip. So in my hand, it's perfect. My thumb lies right on those threads, not sharp, but a bit of grip. The ink window is terrific. I found that then when I got the pen, it was completely clean, but the inside of those windows is actually blue. It's blue now because it's got the dandy turquoise in it. But clean, the inside acrylic window is tinted blue, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, someone filled it with ink at Moonman Majohn and tested the nib. And if they did that, they were blind because it didn't work. Neither one of them. I know some viewers will slag me off in the comments, but that's not the way the pen came. And my answer is, so what? It's my pen. Get your own pen. Do what you want with it. Oh, it's sacrilege to put an Italian nib on a Chinese pen. No, it's not sacrilege, and it's not an Italian nib. This is a Jowo, German nib. Okay, so it's sacrilege to put a German nib on a Chinese pen. No, I just do what works. I want to write with the pen. I don't want it to sit in a box. And if I left it with the Moonman nib, either one of them, it would sit in a box. So there. Now it writes. I'm happy with it. It's coming to Europe with me. And there you have it. I'd like to thank myself for providing the funds to purchase this pen and nib for review. Thank you, Doug. You're welcome, Doug. Such a nice guy.
Oh, what a nice guy.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comments section. You'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as instant access to my videos the moment I post them. Basic members get 10% off, and $5 a month patron members get 20% off the resurrected pen purchases. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.